You're beating around the bush, I'll beat around it too. It seems like you're confident, but we are unsure and you're holding back, girl. I feel take a leap of faith, baby, oh. Love though, I'm no shame, baby, oh. I'm ready to match your energy, oh. Time doesn't wait, I'm oblivious to the day. You tell me what you want, got a feeling we want the same thing, and even though I don't.
Let's just take it slow. I'm sitting down near the bank of, is it called the bank? Rio Lajas, flowing into the Pacific right there. Grateful for welcoming the unknown, grateful for not being afraid. I'm grateful for my breath. I'm grateful that I'm always safe. Grateful that I'm always super protected no matter what happens to me. Super grateful. Grateful for my heels. I'm really happy that I got them. I got them on Black Friday. They're super nice. I've decided that they're actually giving me aura, not subtracting. I like them. I haven't been recording these videos because life's been happening. You know, I've been working and traveling and working and traveling, then working while traveling, then working while settling down after traveling. I have a few topics that I want to talk about. It's really just a chill chat about the realizations that I've been getting recently. Hopefully you've seen the vlog where I moved to the jungle because my inner child was craving life. This is literally what's happening. I'm just experiencing, I'm just living, I'm just allowing myself to breathe into life because I've really been just locked in my room for most of it. Genuinely. Haven't been allowing myself to experience anything. Not that I'm wilding out, like obviously not even going out or anything. That's not the idea of fun I have in my mind. Just really opening myself up to the richness of things. I'm free to create. I have skills and aura that is so infinitely abundant that anywhere I land, I can generate value and I'm going to be welcome and I'm going to have people smiling around me. I'm going to have happiness around me and I'm just thriving. No matter what happens to me, I'm just thriving. And I'm just bathing in this energy right now. So this is what's been happening. Also, for sure, it's not all whimsical and you know, rainbows and unicorns. I've had my moments of doubt and kind of falling into the past Lisa of things having to be hard, things having to be an uphill battle for it to be worth it, for it to feel valuable, but it's not what you know, what is the truth. So I'm seeing it and I'm grateful that I'm able to notice these things. So I'm letting go of these difficult, masculine, stubborn, in a stupid, foolish, shallow, childish way patterns, you know. Grateful that I'm seeing them, able to overcome them. However, I wrote down something that I think will resonate with you guys that I want to talk about in my notes. So I have I have something that says business is just growing very sharp senses, and it's true. I love entrepreneurship for it. Not that I love working. I hate working. What is work? It's like saying I hate reading or I hate school. I don't really agree with what I just said. I don't hate working. I hate the idea of working that I've been taught. I hate the idea of reading that I've been taught. I hate the idea of school that I've been taught. I love education though. I love learning new information. I love getting into people's minds while consuming what they wrote. You know, that's a different idea of reading. Same with working. I love creating value by what actually resonates with me, by putting out what is true within me and seeing people's lives change through that. I really love it. It's truly like art. Business is growing very sharp senses because you can only feel fulfilled while working, while being an entrepreneur. You can only actually be happy if you have senses sharp enough to only put out what is actually you. If you work and generate value by maxing what is not you, what just gives results, you're gonna burn out. Not just you're gonna burn out, like you're gonna get tired. You might not even get tired because that's probably the easiest thing to do, to just generate value because something sells. Sell it because it's sellable. I could be selling you guys courses right now, how to be a high ticket closer, whatever the fuck. It's gonna burn out because value that is not sharp, that hasn't been nurtured through the heart, is dim. It's very not sustainable. So true business is high value long-term partnerships that are only grown through very sharp senses. To be able to see with full discernment what is actually me and how do I optimize myself, my soul, my mind, how do I clear my head from bullshit to actually act on things that are me. To feel good in the present moment every single second of my life because I deserve it. Like actually alchemize reality. That's what I see. That's what I perceive as business. Like I don't see business as fucking B2B lead gen. Fuck that shit. That's not my part. I got my homies taking care of that. Fulfillment is not my thing. I'm the talking, consulting, strategizing, visionary, communicating, persuading, debating, really just observing patterns. That's really it. Oh my god, what a yap. I wasn't even going to talk about this. This was a random note I saw. I wanted to talk about you want change until the alternative is terrifying. That's really cool. So I've been talking to Shaima. Shaima is a girl who actually, I don't remember how she reached out to me. She's been watching me on YouTube like a couple years ago or a year ago or two. I don't know. Probably reached out to my old editor, if you remember Lewis. So she reached out and then that's how kind of we became friends. We just always exchange ideas and how we can grow. So I love that. Love my YouTube for it. Again, this is really what I'm doing this for. Just truly connecting long-term partnerships. Like I really value this shit. Like you actually see me. Like the 1% of people who is my ICP. My ICP is literally who I would be friends with. So again, grateful for this. Shaima told me to share this story, how I turned down a Hormozi job. So basically, I'm a salesperson. If you guys don't know, I'm a closer, high ticket closer. I'm just hopping on calls with people who want to buy the solution that I'm selling, whether it's a mentorship or it is a lead generation situation for a business. So I'm working within an agency that my friend owns. I'm like co-owning it on the sales side of it. I'm not co-owning it. I'm not owning it. I'm like the sales side of it. And yeah, I just talk to people and I'm like, if it's the right fit for you, I'm going to explain to you how it works, overcome your limiting beliefs, and I'm going to collect 8K from you. 50% of, I mean, probably the proportion is different, but a certain percentage of it is a skill. It's having common sense, being able to talk to people, being able to actually close them and collect that cash and actually help people change lives. But personally, it's also finding an opportunity that will be optimal for you. And it's, I would argue, the biggest leverage point. Like, you don't even have to be good, but if you're in a good opportunity, you're going to crush. But usually, very often, not good people don't land good opportunities. That's just how life works. So, but there's so many cases where really good people are in shit opportunities, which is, another side of the coin. However, why I'm saying this again is because it was like a couple months ago, just after I quit Freedom Team Trading, which was the trading mentorship I was selling. This was B2C, so business to consumer. This was just me selling like people on learning how to trade and actually becoming profitable traders, which was really cool. I loved it, but I have to leave that offer. And then I got offered a Hormozi job. So literally being a setter, then to closer, potentially to a manager in acquisition. But it always starts with setting. So I did my setter. Setter is basically someone who hops on a call, basically calls, dials leads. It's like a cold caller, but warm caller. Let's call it that. So everyone has to be a setter before becoming a closer. That's how it works in this world. Hopefully, you can only be a good closer, in my personal opinion, if you were a setter before. That's just how life is. You just have to humble yourself. However, I did not take that job. That's the story I'm telling. Because I realized that I humbled myself enough already. And it was such a powerful moment because 8 months ago, when I was applying to my first ever job, I couldn't apply to acquisition because they were only taking people from the US. And obviously, I'm not in the US. I mean, now I'm closer to the US, but you get the point. They only take people from certain states even, And as a European girly, I'm like, I wish, but no. And it's a great opportunity, bro. Working with Layla and Alex, and I mean, being there, also having an opportunity to fly to Chicago and then just live there with them, and like, it's a proper job. And then obviously with my stubbornness and the aura and the lock-in, potential I could grow into a manager easily. Their manager is like super young, like 18 or 19 right now. So I already had experience being a manager. So I grew from a setter to a closer to a manager within Freedom Team Trading within like 8 months. No, what 8 months? It was like 4 or 5 months, which is crazy. A crazy generational run. Like this was literally the videos that I posted when I was like crying, locked in a dark room, like truly dark times. So I already had experience of being a manager, and then I'm getting this opportunity to be a part of Hormozi's team. And I actually got referred by a friend who works there, and I'm sitting there. I have no sales opportunity, not working, right? And I'm like, wow. I know that a part of me really sees this as a huge pivotal point, like, whoa, like I could take this and then just, my life changes completely. Like this is such an opening. But at the same time, I knew very, very clearly in my heart that this feels wrong to do. Like I just know that I shouldn't, which is so freaking weird. It's like getting proposed to and saying no, but you love that person. It's so freaking weird. Like I can't explain. I'm probably not that. Probably a very bad example because I don't love Hormozi like that. Sorry. I love him, but not like that. Not fangirling enough, I just realized that I have, not to be cocky, I definitely have a lot to learn. Not the best salesperson and not aiming to be, honestly. Sales isn't like my whole life. Like I'm chilling. Not aiming to be the sales girly. Not Shelby sapping here, okay? But don't have to do a setter to closer to manager run anymore. Sacrificing my 12-hour days, like, because I know that if I come into an opportunity like this, I will grind. Not that you have to, but I know that if I do come into someone's business, I will grind. Like there is no way like I'm gonna sleep. Truly, like there's just, if I'm locked in, not because I have to, because I see that I'm in it. Like I obviously have to outperform. Like that's just what I do. So I was like, I'm not in a position right now to humble myself like that. I don't have to. I don't want to. I will not. That was my feeling. So freaking weird because I just did that, saw success, and now there is like a crazy high level opportunity. If I do that same shit again, my life changes. Like, it's actually going to be like black and white, and it's so doable. It's right there. And I'm like, no, thank you. With no certainty that I have another opportunity, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. This ain't it. I'm not gonna build someone else's empire. That was the feeling. I wasn't questioning whether or not this was a good decision. I was like, yeah, this is definitely a good decision. So why I'm saying this is because apparently, that's why I was talking about Shaima. Shaima said, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly, bro. Correct me. She said that I should record a video about this, talking about how this is actually a hard choice, which for me it wasn't. I feel like any choice that is right for you isn't hard. What is hard? Again, hard, like difficult, is relative. It's so relative. This is a great topic. Actually, I might name the video like that and then just reframe my thoughts and talk about this. What is a lock-in? Should success come from difficulty? You definitely have seen how much I suffered and struggled through summer, autumn, part of winter to get to where I am right now, right? I'm in freaking Costa Rica sitting on some rocks near the Pacific Ocean, Rio Lajas, looking at palm trees with coconuts, enjoying my life. It's a random Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. I'm recording a video talking about how grateful I am, So, should it come from suffering? Logically, looking back at this is going to be as weird as saying money doesn't matter, because I'm here in a position where I'm no longer suffering, and I'm saying, yes, suffering shouldn't be a part of the equation to get to a point where you're free. But it clearly was for me, so that's sort of an incongruent equation here. That's kind of the same thing as people who are rich saying that money doesn't matter, Money doesn't make you happy. Bruh, you literally have money, shut the fuck up. The difficulty is very relative. Should it be difficult? Should suffering be the part of the equation? Actually, Bokar, who I met, where did I meet him? It was one of the Paris Fashion Week shows. He walked it. It was Camat Paris. Okay. He walked for Camat Paris, and I was just watching that show. It was my first trip to Paris. And then the next season, I came back to Paris to walk shows. I walked a few, not just one, and then we met the second time on like an after party or something. So yeah, anyway, he asked me, should suffering be the part of the equation? And I had to sit down while like exiting the era of suffering. And I was like, is it actually necessary? It would be very hypocritical of me to say that it's not, because I'm clearly, experiencing something because I had to sacrifice a lot, because I had to suffer a lot. But should it be like an obligation to go through it to receive something? Energetically, there is always a give and take, right? There's always, you have to sacrifice something, even within fucking satanic rituals, right? Not that life is a satanic ritual, but it's just an energy exchange. Every single time you receive something, you had to give something up, okay? This is how money works. This is how the food chain works. This is how your digestive system works. This is how breathing works. Simple duality. Someone's playing music. I hope you can't hear it. Should suffering be the part of the equation? Now we have to define suffering. This is when you feel stretched to the point where you feel misaligned. Then misalignment, what is misalignment? Misalignment is a state of your being. Is it an emotion? No. It's a misalignment from what? From what you're used to. Is it necessarily good or bad? Can't tell, right? It can be both ways. But if you're working towards something intentionally and you feel exhausted, you're suffering, you're misaligned, you're stretched to the point of that misalignment, it means that you're just not used to this level of pressure, which we define as difficult, right? So is it necessarily bad? No. Is it good? Well, it can be. You can create it to be good, and you can not suffer through it. It can feel like a lot of pressure. It can feel like a lot of discomfort. You can cry through it. You can be like, yo, shit's hard. But it doesn't have to be suffering, You can frame it as suffering. You can glorify it as the lock-in suffering winter arc period and suffer through it and then receive the whatever blessing you're working towards. But it's the same as alignment that you put a frame on, right? You choose what frame to put on it. So it doesn't have to be suffering, quote unquote. It can be intentional misalignment in order to align again, give and take. So the question is yes and no. It really just depends on your perception. This is how I would answer that question. This is what I truly believe. However, I believe that you should put yourself in misalignment from what you're used to achieve something that you're not used to if you want that something and you've never experienced it. Because that's the only way to grow. You have to put yourself in situations that are not comfortable, that are new, that are scary. And it will probably feel more on the negative side. It will feel heavy. It will feel, sad. More like suffering. So yes, you probably will experience suffering, but you can, if you don't like to dwell on it, or if you have a pattern of self-sabotaging, which is literally what happened to me. I just dwelled on that suffering. I was like, ooh, suffering, let's freaking go. And that fueled me for a second. Then it was just like a depressive episode of a lock-in, which if you see that you have these patterns, just to reframe that shit and just choose a different setting. It will still feel like misalignment because you're walking into something you've never experienced, but you don't have to quote unquote suffer through it. You can realign and learn new skills and just gain more XP through it. Oh my fucking god, these spiders are crazy. Bro just flew away. I'm sorry. I'm vegan, I promise. But yeah, that's my answer. Really is that simple. That manifestational, like I don't chase, I attract type thing. Not true. No, you have to go out of your way and interact with reality. Play with variables to manifest something that you have never seen before. Fuck around and then you find out, You cannot just find out. That's just not how it works. And through finding out, you will experience certain neutral misalignment that you get to choose what to call. So you can call it discomfort, you can call it suffering, you can call it new, whimsical, fun, you can call it free will maxing era, you can call it whatever you want. But just know that it's going to be uncomfortable to an extent. But then discomfort isn't really a negative feeling, right? Discomfort is just, ooh, I'm not used to this. So again, super open space to choose an emotion to attach to it. which I love. I see so many different, this is why it's so, I talked about this with Amber, the AI agency girl, prompted by Amber, if you know her Instagram. It's like I see so many different opinions about something that it's difficult for me to debate on one specific statement because I get both of them. I get both sides. Same with gay people, same with racism, same with I do have some radical beliefs, like obviously some black and white, like genuinely just like, look, this is evil and this is not supposed to be happening, okay? Some things I'm like very radical about, which is good. Some things are actually black and white in this world, okay? I've been talking with Amber about how it's very difficult to pick a side because I understand every side. So the cool thing about this is that you're super open-minded, you have discernment, and this level of challenge is different because with that discernment you get to adapt more frequently than an average reality user, okay? Average reality users are identified with certain set of beliefs or what is normal to believe within holding this identity. But some people get to dance around more freely because they've shown to this mathematical intelligence that they can be trusted with this level of adaptability. Like, yeah, I can handle this. I can actually analytically observe patterns and get to certain conclusions based on my previous experience and what I've noticed at all times, right? I don't have to just hold this one pattern of beliefs. I can just float around the universe and be like, I think this about this, but I also do understand that side of the story. But based on this, and that, in my head, I'm going to hold this frame on it, you know? So this can be applied to things within our shared reality, like socio-political shit and ethical issues and whatever's going on in the world, right? But also within your own reality. You get to choose because you see all of the spectrums, like all of the frame. I mean, I just don't want this to be suffering. I mean, actually, I want this to be suffering. So you can really pick and choose. You really get to experience whatever you want, even in this way. However, the statement stays true that you won't change until the alternative is terrifying. So to actually create some reality-shaking changes, the alternative version of you not taking action, just the same as within a sales call, there's like, oh, what if you don't do this? What happens then? Same shit. It has to be terrifying enough for you to actually lock in and do it, whatever that change is. It has to be important enough. It doesn't have to be terrifying necessarily. It has to be important enough for you to make changes and to seek that discomfort, to intentionally seek that neutral misalignment that then you will be allowed to pick a name for. You can call it suffering, you can call it a lock-in, you can call it pain, you can call it whimsy, you can call it free will maxing, whatever you like. An open space of undiscovered variables. But the alternative of not taking action on that has to be more uncomfortable than this reality that you will be seeking out. So you can call it terrifying, yeah. The alternative has to be terrifying for you to make a change. Yeah, let's drink some water, experience more of this beautiful view, and ride back home in my quad. So grateful for the quad that Maria gave me, honestly. She just went on her honeymoon to Guatemala with her husband and left the quad for me. I'm just gonna fill it up with gas, and that's how I'm gonna repay her. But just so blessed, so grateful, just infinitely abundant. There's a pregnant woman kind of swimming in this river, and she just looks so whimsical with her sons next to her playing music. Beautiful. Just wanted to tell you guys. Okay. Hope you guys are well. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Go on Instagram. I post more there. I'm literally spamming the stories because everything is so beautiful. Love you.